And you are listening to Nightline Africa. I'm your host, Peter Clotte in Washington. Coming up in the second half of Nightline Africa, sports with Douglas Impuga and music from our African collection. And that will be followed by a commentary by Dr. James Jonah, former UN Under Secretary General for Political Affairs. But first, Sally Torpey designs the Sally Torpey brand's Ohima using a particularly unique sense of design, culture, and heritage. She is the recently elected regional treasurer for the Association of Ghana Industries in the capital, Accra. Sally is also the founder of Sympathy International, an NGO which focuses on addressing societal challenges by educating teens and young women on the importance of female reproductive hygiene and providing training for women and peer educators through workshops and counseling. Sally joins me live in the VOA studios here in Washington. Let me ask you, Sally, where did it all begin for you?
For me, I would say it began in my secondary school age in University Practice Secondary School in Cape Coast,
All right.
Ghana. And whilst I was in secondary school, I saw a lot of differences between how I was raised and how girls, live. So I was inspired by what my upbringings are and wanted to just change a little bit of the societal norms in terms of people having very early sexual active, behaviors and trying to see how we could tame it. Because I thought I didn't come from a background that know that, but then I can be an influence to tame that. So it started from that way to transcending into having Sympathy International, my NGO.
Mm-hmm. You're wearing two different hats, but let me ask you about your designs. How did it begin with you? What motivates you, and where do you get your inspiration to design?
My mom is a seamstress, and she calls herself a dressmaker. Comfort Torpey, Mrs. is her name. And working with her, back in the days, people flood our house. She had some apprentice, and colors, the fabrics, the textures, and how she interacts with her customers was how I was inspired. I also spent a lot of time not just looking through her catalogs, but then I also spent a lot of time on CNN, watching Paris Fashion Week, all the New York Fashion Weeks, and I was inspired by that. I thought that is a lifestyle I want to have. I want to create, give people the feel of a little bit of sense of Afro and the foreign twig, all in fashion.
So if I may ask you, how have Ghanaians and people who have come from abroad, who have come to see some of your handiwork, how have they responded to it, and what is the plan going forward?
I think people are always excited knowing these two things about what I do, which is not just given the elegance, the beautiful cultural experience through fashion, but also the fact that I do it with a heart. I became the African ambassador for the Fashion Business Association of America down in Miami. But over there, they see the fact that I want to touch lives by training and building capacity. And as African fashion revolves, we are trying to train and build capacity for the standards in apparel production, which Africa does not fully have. Though we are creating and we are very creative, our apparel has history, culture, colors, all that elements in it, but we need to upgrade the standards. So people meet me and they see the fashion, they are seeing the high quality that we give.
There have been concerns where people said African fabric are being produced outside Africa. Sometimes they are inferior quality, and people who can afford it will prefer the inferior ones. How do you use that in your consideration to design? And what do you tell people about the differences in the quality of the tools that you use?
Well, being a Ghanaian fashion designer or an African fashion designer for that matter, I try to let people understand the different qualities of the fabric that we use in producing garments. You know, we have our textile, companies. We have ATL, we have GTP. I work with ATL, courtesy of the Johnny Jekunkufor Foundation. I'm the designer for the Jack brand.
Right.
And we tell people the differences between what is made in Africa, our designs, because we have designs in Ghana that has names, meanings to them. Our fabrics speak. So these are the pointers we try to tell people, that these are the elements that make up our textiles. So when they see the quality from other countries, they can tell the difference that this is not made in Ghana.
Well, we'll have to continue this discussion some other time. Sally Torpey designs the Sally Torpey brands Ohima. She joined me live in the viewer studios right here in Washington, D.C.